And welcome to this edition of Motorcycle Madhouse Biker News. We got some exciting news out of Idaho. They passed a biker rights bill. Also, we are going to go learn what a rat really is about. Let's just say that, man. He came out with all kinds of information, and you'll see why I'm against the people. Also got a couple cancellations as far as motorcycle events, man. You might as well forget it. They're canceling everything right now. And that brings me, before we get to the news, Illinois is locked down, California, New York, it is going locked down big time, man. It's stay in the house orders right now. You're only allowed to go do essential things like grocery stores, gas, pharmacy, and you might be able to exercise a little bit outside, but you gotta stay your distance. And I know a lot of people out there, because I've been watching it online a lot. Well, it's just a flu. It's just a flu. Well, I always tell you, if the government comes out and says one thing, it's about a million times worse. And you gotta think of it this way. If it wasn't as bad as they're saying, money runs this world. They have canceled major stuff like March Madness, the Kentucky Derby, and a lot of gatherings where there's big money involved. NASCAR, baseball, you're talking billions of dollars right there. So, you know, it ain't no joke when they're losing their money. So you guys make sure you stay hunkered down. Be careful. Hopefully you guys got supplies. And for those who always thought I was crazy talking about prepping, yeah, how you feeling now? Anyway, don't forget to check out my other video over on our other channel on YouTube. If you're over on Motorcycle Madhouse Radio, don't forget to go over there, check it out, because I actually go more in depth with this subject. It's time we start acting like Americans right now, regardless of party. But go ahead and check that out. But I'll be right back, and we're going to talk about the news.
In your face, all over the place.
We're online 24/7. 24/7.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Hollywood's Motorcycle Madhouse on Spotify and iTunes Radio.
Okay, man, before we got started, man, we'll go over to our support store. We got a new Hooligan Mafia line out there of t-shirts. Gonna be a good line we're designing. We got the first t-shirt out. It has Hooligan Mafia on the front and the Insane Throttle Biker News logo on the back. Got a lot of cool designs coming up, so go check it out. But from the Motorcycle Profiling Project, this is great news. We've actually discussed this in the past, and this is by Double D. Idaho passes anti-motorcycling profiling law. Rock and roll, man. Great stuff right there. In the midst of a global coronavirus pandemic, there's not much good news. But for the motorcyclists in Ohio, there's a sliver of positivity in a sea of crisis. On March 18, 2020, the state of Idaho became the fourth state to pass a law addressing the issue of motorcycle profiling. Awaiting the governor's signature, S 1292, sponsored by Representative Robert Anderst, passed the Idaho House of Representatives on a 37-30 vote after previously passing the Senate 25-9. I wonder those 30 who voted against them. If you're in Idaho, you might want to check that out and give them the big middle finger. S 1292 defines the term motorcycle profiling and prohibits the practice, and like the three states that have previously addressed the issue, Washington State, Maryland, and Louisiana, S 1292 doesn't allow monetary claims against law enforcement. The Federal Civil Rights Act remains the mechanism of monetary relief for victims of profiling. Rather, state anti-motorcycle profiling legislation provides a mechanism for targeted individuals to receive the dismissals and exclusion of evidence based on an illegal stop. in addition to enhanced law enforcement training intended to curtail the discriminatory practice. The law in Idaho is the direct result of a 5-year-long grassroots effort led by Idaho ABATE. And I'm always telling everybody, if you don't go and get involved in ABATE, at least get yourself a membership that helps support the cause. And look what this cause did. Idaho ABATE is a quintessential example of the democratic process at work. With persistence and preparation, legislative opposition can be reversed. Legislators deal with hundreds of thousands of pieces of legislation annually. Idaho ABATE did not allow previous failures since 2017 to discourage the legislative effort. Instead of giving up, Idaho ABATE persisted and was eventually successful, educating and gaining the support of the legislators that previously opposed the ideal. And MPP congratulates Idaho ABATE, it goes on, Representative Anders, and those that supported the effort. Again, it is vital for you, if you ride a motorcycle, to join ABATE. I'm going to keep on telling you guys that this is the kind of stuff that comes out of it. ABATE is not just about helmets, guys. It's about everything, and they got this passed. Now it's time to get involved in your state and get more states on board with this anti-motorcycle profiling stuff. So get her done. Anyway, let's go to this story. Drugs, guns, blacked out tattoos, and an informant describes life inside Denver's Hells Angels chapter. You know, this is one of those things that you guys know I cannot freaking stand. I can't stand it, man. I really can't. Informants, they're the worst of the worst, man. They're right down there with chromos. They got no honor. They got no loyalty. It's just disgusting. It really is. And then they go out and talk. That's even worse, man. That's like more of a black eye. An indictment against 13 Hells Angels is centered on a former member's testimony. And this is what really drives me crazy, is when you're in a club, you want all the glory that comes along with the club, and you use the position to maybe push your weight around, but when the piper comes calling, you flip. You flip like a coward. What kind of man does that really make you, man? Anyway, this is by Sam Tabachink. Joshua O'Brien regained consciousness on July 12th inside the Cool Cats Tattoo Parlor in Englewood after being choked and beaten. His wrists and ankles were hogtied and he was bleeding. With members of the Denver's Hells Angels Motorcycle Club all around him, shop owner Dusty Ehrlich started blacking out O'Brien's death head tattoo, the emblem signifying membership in the notorious biker group. In its place, Ehrlich scrolled the word bad into O'Brien's skin as other Hells Angels photographed the ritual on their phones. What kind of freaking idiots do that? I'm not talking about taking the tattoo off. I'm talking about taking freaking video of it. Are you kidding me? Oh my God, what dumbasses. If you ever tell anyone about this, he said, I will kill you and slit your throat. Well, you don't need to tell anybody. You got Hells Angels freaking members photographing it with their phones. My God. And you know what? I'm not trying to get political or, come on, man. Common sense. Oh, my God. But O'Brien told police about what happened, launching a 5-month investigation into the notorious bikers that came to a head in November when authorities raided the Hells Angels clubhouse in Denver's Highland neighborhood. Maybe you guys should re-look into that charter, man. They're not too damn smart, are they? They're taking photographs of this happening. There's a Rico. During the early morning raid, there were at other locations, officials seized methamphetamines, cocaine, cash, and dozens of firearms. 13 Hells Angels members ranging from 30 to 81 years old. 81 years old? You should have told these kids better, man. Were charged with violating Colorado's Organized Crime Act, along with a litany of assault, burglary, and kidnapping charges. A 14th person affiliated with the Destroyer motorcycle gang was also indicted. For months, the accusations against the 14 men were secret because their arrest affidavits were suppressed. But earlier this month, prosecutors outlined their case against the Hells Angels in Denver County Court during preliminary hearings for 3 defendants. And their arrest affidavits were released after a Denver Post reporter appealed to the courts to unseal the documents. The entire case hinges on O'Brien, the former member who said he was beaten by men he once called his brothers after they suspected he was talking to law enforcement following an earlier raid on his Lakewood motorcycle shop, according to an arrest affidavit. You know, hopefully they had proof of that, because what they could have done is, if they were just going by innuendo and rumors and stuff, they just turned them on themselves, man. Of course, the guy, you know, nowadays they're going to go to law enforcement. It ain't like the old days where if something like this happened, you just go back with a 9mm and put a bullet in everybody's head. You know, that's just my opinion. But anyway, I still can't get over taking pictures of what was happening. Technology is unbelievably stupid now, and you bring it on yourselves. O'Brien told investigators he could provide intricate details on the Hells Angels Denver chapter's involvement with stash houses of meth, prostitutes — there's nothing wrong with prostitutes — arms deals, and money laundering across the country. Arms deals? Now that's stupid. Everybody knows I'm an NRA recruiter, and I'm big on our second, and stuff like that just puts a black eye into everything that we're trying to fight for. If you want loves and hugs, you go to the Rocky Mountain chapter, O'Brien told investigators, according to the arrest affidavit. If you want guns and drugs, you go to the Denver chapter. So basically, they got the whole intricate details from this guy about the inner workings of what's happening. But, you know, come on, man. I'm just in disbelief reading this story that they actually photographed it. Actually, what is with it today? And you know what? I'll talk about this a little on afterwards. Let's go to the couple cancellations. Pikes Peak Hill Climb is no longer set for June amid an outbreak. It's being rescheduled for August 30th. Let's see here. With the 30,000 plus attendee Fan Fest taking place on Friday, August 28th. You can see a press release about this one, but Pikes Peak is going to be rescheduled for August. Now, the Quail motorcycle gathering is rescheduled for next year. Everybody knows about the Quail. If you don't, what planet are you on? It's being rescheduled from May 15th, 2021. So if you got the money and you're a part of that stuff, that's money over there. But yeah, it's going to be rescheduled for next year. And most every event is going to be rescheduled. Right now, with all these orders in place, stay at home, I think about events are being held in May to push them back. That's just my personal opinion. Okay, I know I'm going to get some supporters out there bashing how I reported on that. But come on, use some common sense. Listen to the story. Do the research yourself on the story. Do the research yourself. How in the heck do you sit there and actually give the evidence up? I get it. The guy was a freaking rat. but to later learn this is what was happening. And the one thing that I cannot stand, and you know what, I'm not going to make accusations or any of that stuff, but if it is true with the gun running, you're POSs, man. You really are. You know, again, I'm an NHR or NRA recruiter and work real hard to get people's their rights, and it's that kind of stunts that really push back and get all these damn gun laws out there. It's because idiots like you go around and push guns. You know, I don't care what group is involved. You know, this one just happens to have the 81 in there. But you got to sit back and really think about how your actions are hurting the scene as a whole. What do you think is going to happen with, you know, I just did that story with profiling where everybody's trying to get it passed, and then you got dummies out there like in that story doing that kind of stuff. Do you really think legislators want to get behind that kind of stuff? You know, it's real funny when people don't think about it, man. But, you know, we live in a me world, man. It used to be where everybody worked together on stuff and they tried to keep the business on the down low. But nowadays, it's like, yeah, it don't work that way. And you know what? I think that really does bug a lot of people in the scene. And I'm going to give both sides on this one. Here you got a bunch of guys want to get together with the club and, you know, whatever dominant, whatever it is. You know, well, no. You know, they use that freaking, because they got the numbers, they'll use that as a force. And, you know, try to, you know, police what somebody else is doing. And then, you know, something like this goes down where you got guys ratting. How is people supposed to look at that? You know, honestly, how are they supposed to look at that when you got guys who, you know, use that weight against somebody else, then all of a sudden when it got bad, boom, you know. Personally, yeah, the guy's a rat in my freaking eyes. He went through a process. Yeah, that's the way to do it. Take off your death head, whatever. But if you felt like you had to do something, don't run to the cops, man. Just, you know, do you. Be a man. Be the person that you were claiming to be with everyone else. It's just my opinion. It really is. But I really hate it where we start off something with some really freaking good news, man. Really good news about the profiling issue. Then you got some dummies that really give a black eye. And I know, I know a lot of the clubs are like, well, we don't care what civilians think. Well, stop and think about that statement. When something goes down, you're out there, you know, how can I say, you're out there wanting everybody's support. But on the other hand, you don't care what anybody else thinks. You can't have it both ways, man. And you know what? I welcome the 81 if they want to put their side of the story out on this. I encourage it. Maybe, you know what? They can set the record straight on this article and some of my opinions. I welcome it. Just like I welcome anybody who's in the news to come on, give their side of the story. I will not edit it. You get to say it like it is, and the people hear it like it is. That's what we do at Insane Throttle, is make sure both sides of the story get out. So if you guys have anything to say that you want our audience and the biker scene to know about, let us know, man. We'll get it out there for you. If what they're reporting in the newspaper isn't true, then come on and let us know about it. But, you know, for those supporters, I ain't getting into conspiracy theories. I'm not. You know, I'm going off of what the article says. I'm not going to say, well, you know, you're this and that. And, you know, and then you guys are going to come back, well, you're just picking on the, you know, give me a break, man. I'm giving both sides the way it looks from that article. And I'm giving them an opportunity to come on the show to, you know, let us know what they think. And, you know, I think that's the best thing. If clubs have a problem, with what's going on in the news, get your side of the story out. I seen one club do it, and boy, did it turn the freaking narrative of what was going on in that story. So that was, a smart thing to do, I figure. Anyway, you guys, make sure you are hunkered down, man, because this is no joke, especially those with pre-existing conditions. What happens, I guess, after reading some of the stuff, it attacks the lungs real bad, gets you short of breath, blue, your oxygen levels go down, and also now it's found, to mess with your heart. It's also found to mess with your digestive system. Just remember, when the government comes out and tells you something, always freaking multiply that, man, by like 1,000, because it's even worse than what they're trying to tell you, because they're trying to keep panic at a minimum. I really feel sorry for the people that are going to lose their jobs. We had such a great economy going, and boom, this hits. And, go on my other channel. I talk about this a lot more. I talk about how there's actual news organizations perpetrating freaking the freaking information that the Chinese Communist government's given. And they're putting it out to American citizens. We're Americans. Start getting together. I don't care what you think of the dude running the thing. That stuff you can debate later on what happened. But the media, you're a sham. And I am really, really embarrassed for the media. Because being a part of the press associations, and I actually talk with a lot of the reporters and say, what the hell's wrong with some of you guys? You're supposed to give both sides of the story, and yeah, you might have opinions, but at least give the opportunity to air both sides, man. You guys just want to take tidbits and cuts and all that stupid crap. But get over there and check it out. Don't forget to also check out our new products over at the store. If you like to donate, you can with PayPal. It helps keep the show up on the air. So with that, I'd really appreciate you guys staying safe, man. And it's almost a big time riding season. It's coming around the corner. For those in the South and West, enjoy, man. With that, I'll talk to you guys later, and see you next episode.